Breaking the Wire, an Avon Barksdale story. Avon Barksdale, the notorious drug lord from Baltimore, found himself seated across a polished mahogany table from Gus Fring, a man known for his calculated demeanor and impeccable business acumen. They were in a dimly lit private room, tucked away in the back of a lavish restaurant, hidden from prying eyes and eager ears. Avon studied Gus carefully, recognizing the air of authority that surrounded him. The room was filled with an aura of power, as these two titans of the underworld prepared to discuss business. With a freshly rolled cigar in hand, Avon leaned back in his chair, exuding confidence. Gus, dressed in a perfectly tailored suit, glanced at Avon, his piercing gaze seemingly penetrating into the depths of his soul. He spoke with a measured tone, his voice carrying an air of respect. Avon Barksdale, a name that has commanded respect and fear in the streets. I must say, I've been following your rise, and I am impressed. Avon's eyes narrowed slightly, his interest piqued. Well, I appreciate the recognition, Gus. I've heard tales of your success as well. They say you're a man who knows how to run a tight ship. Gus nodded, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. Indeed, Avon. Efficiency is the key to success. And from what I've heard, you possess a similar drive and ambition. It reminds me of a younger version of myself. Avon's ego swelled with pride, but he remained composed. That's high praise coming from you, Gus. I've always admired those who rise to the top and maintain their control. So, what brings us together today? Gus leaned forward, his eyes fixed on Avon. I believe there's an opportunity for a mutually beneficial partnership. Our organizations possess unique strengths that, when combined, could yield substantial profits. Together, we could dominate the market in ways unimaginable. Avon pondered Gus's proposition, weighing the risks and rewards in his mind. He recognized the potential, but he was also cautious. I've always been a solo player, Gus. But I'm willing to hear you out. What exactly do you have in mind? How can we make this work? Gus outlined his vision, presenting a comprehensive strategy that showcased his meticulous planning and attention to detail. As he spoke, Avon couldn't help but be drawn in by the man's charisma and intelligence. The more he listened, the more he realized the potential of this alliance. Avon finally leaned forward, a spark of excitement in his eyes. Gus, I must say, you've given me something to think about. Your vision aligns with my own ambitions. If we can find common ground and trust each other, perhaps we can create something legendary. Gus extended his hand across the table, a gesture of trust and camaraderie. Avon shook it firmly, sealing their agreement. Together, they would become an unstoppable force, their names etched in the annals of criminal history. As they concluded their meeting, Avon couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration for Gus Fring. He had found a kindred spirit in the meticulous and shrewd businessman. With their combined forces, they would revolutionize the drug trade, leaving an indelible mark on the world they had chosen to conquer. Little did they know, their partnership would not only reshape the drug trade but also ignite a dangerous game of power and betrayal. Months flew by, and Avon and Gus worked tirelessly to execute their joint enterprise. Their organizations seamlessly merged, leveraging Avon's street-level influence and Gus's refined operations. Their empire expanded rapidly, swallowing rival factions and establishing an iron grip over the drug markets. As the profits poured in, Avon and Gus developed a unique bond. They spent hours discussing strategy, analyzing market trends, and fine-tuning their organization. Avon found himself drawn to Gus's wisdom and guidance, learning valuable lessons from the seasoned veteran. However, as their power grew, so did the shadows of suspicion and greed. Avon noticed subtle shifts in Gus's demeanor, a hint of ruthlessness masked behind his calm facade. The admiration he once held for Gus began to wane, replaced by a lingering unease. Avon's instincts told him to be cautious, to protect his own interests. He started to question Gus's true intentions, wondering if their partnership was merely a stepping stone for the cunning kingpin. The young drug lord couldn't shake off the feeling that he was being manipulated, that he was walking a dangerous path. One fateful evening, As they sat in a private room similar to the one where they had first met, Avon confronted Gus. The air was thick with tension, their eyes locked in a battle of wills. "Gus, I can't ignore the signs any longer," Avon began, his voice firm. "I sense a shift in our dynamic. What is it you truly want from this partnership?" Gus's expression remained calm, but a flicker of something dark danced in his eyes. "Avon, my intentions have always been clear. I seek power and control, just as you do. But perhaps our visions are not as aligned as we once believed." Avon's grip tightened on the armrest of his chair. "What are you saying, Gus? Are you planning to betray me?" Gus's smile was cold, devoid of warmth. "Betrayal is a strong word, Avon. Let's just say I've realized that in this world, sometimes you have to make sacrifices for the greater good. And you, my friend, have become an obstacle." Avon's heart raced, his mind racing to find a way out of this treacherous situation. "I won't let you destroy everything I've built, Gus. I won't be your pawn." Gus's eyes gleamed with a mixture of amusement and malice. "You were right, Avon. You reminded me of a younger version of myself. And like me, you must learn that in this world, there are no permanent alliances. Only opportunities." Avon's survival instincts kicked in, propelling him to take immediate action. He rose from his chair, his hand reaching for the concealed weapon at his side. But before he could make a move, chaos erupted. A barrage of gunfire erupted from the shadows, cutting through the air with deadly precision. Avon and Gus instinctively dove for cover, their alliance shattered in an instant. Bullets tore through the room, shattering glass and splintering wood. In the chaos, Avon managed to escape, leaving behind a trail of smoke and shattered dreams. He vowed to rebuild, to rise from the ashes and reclaim his throne. And as he disappeared into the night, Avon realized the true cost of his ambition. He had been seduced by the allure of power and wealth, blinded by his desire to be at the top. Now, he found himself alone, hunted by both enemies and former allies. As Avon retreated to the shadows, he knew he had to regroup and reassemble his forces. He reached out to his most trusted lieutenants, those who had remained loyal even in the face of adversity. Together, they formed a tight-knit circle, vowing to reclaim their territory and seek vengeance against those who had betrayed them. Avon's encounter with Gus Fring had taught him valuable lessons about trust and the treacherous nature of the criminal underworld. He realized that true power lay not only in influence and wealth but also in surrounding oneself with loyal and dedicated individuals. Months passed, and Avon meticulously planned his revenge. He gathered intelligence, sought out new alliances, and strengthened his network. He knew that the path to redemption would not be easy, but he was determined to reclaim his position as Baltimore's most feared kingpin. Meanwhile, Gus Fring continued to expand his empire, unaware of the storm brewing in the shadows. He reveled in his newfound dominance, believing himself invincible. But little did he know that Avon Barksdale was silently orchestrating his downfall. Avon's intricate web of informants and spies infiltrated Gus's operation, gathering vital information and chipping away at his foundation. Avon played the long game, meticulously maneuvering his pieces until the time was right. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. Avon and his loyal soldiers launched a series of devastating attacks on Gus's organization, striking with precision and ruthlessness. The streets of Baltimore became a battleground, as the two titans clashed in a war of attrition. Avon's guerrilla tactics and intimate knowledge of the city gave him an edge. His forces decimated Gus's supply lines, crippling his distribution networks, and instilling fear in the hearts of his men. The empire Gus had built so meticulously began to crumble, piece by piece. In a final confrontation, Avon and Gus faced off once again. The air crackled with tension as their eyes locked, each knowing that only one would emerge victorious. They traded blows, both physical and metaphorical, as they fought for their legacies. In the end, Avon proved to be the victor. Gus, wounded and broken, admitted defeat. As he lay on the ground, his empire in ruins, he looked up at Avon with a mix of admiration and resignation. "You've bested me, Avon," Gus whispered, his voice filled with a begrudging respect. You truly are a force to be reckoned with. I see now that my earlier comparison was not in vain. You have become the embodiment of the younger version of myself I once praised." Avon acknowledged Gus's words, a somber expression on his face. He had achieved his revenge, but the cost had been high. The streets were stained with blood, and the scars of their battles would forever serve as a reminder of the price they had paid. As Avon walked away from the defeated Gus, he knew that his journey was far from over. The throne was his once again, but he had learned the importance of balance and the dangers of unchecked ambition. He vowed to rule with a wiser and more tempered hand. If you enjoyed this audio short story, hit that like button and subscribe to the Platinum Wave for more awesome